All righty. Hello, everyone. Good morning. 9:57. Would you say, Dan? Painting Christmas lights tomorrow. How's the wind going to be? Oh, wind plus sliders equals Clark Griswold is what that's going to equal there for you, Dan. Yeah, it is going to be quite windy, so make sure if you're going to do it, have some support for you there. Someone to help you out. Always do that, right? Hope you guys are doing well. Wave meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to SnowTALK, although, yeah, it's all about really thunderstorms and heavy rain that we're talking about really for a while. And then we'll get into will likely be a wintry outlook. I've got the latest long term, and then we'll get into the matrix. That is updated as well. All right. Everyone good? All right. Let's dive into it. Well, first off, I should just go ahead and say right now, still not enough data to add anything to the board. So the board will remain clear again today. Maybe by early next week, we'll be able to get it back on track again, but I can't do it today. All right, looking live right now, this is in New Albany. You could see some of the scattered cumulus clouds in Indiana and up 71. And if you're really south of 64, you're not seeing a whole lot right now, and you may not. This is all really a northern part of the metro issue right now when it comes to any rain chance here for the late morning, midday sprinkles we've been talking about. You can see we're in the 50s now. The warm front is just to our west. This is one of those odd fronts that's going to allow for a nice little jump in temperature later on, and will likely hold steady in our numbers for this evening, or even try to climb a tad bit overnight tonight. So it's a nice warm flow coming in as the day evolves. It's certainly much warmer tonight than what we had the entire week, really. So a nice little change of pace, setting the stage for that warm day for tomorrow. And that's how we get into the lower 70s, despite all kinds of clouds, is that we get a warmer start. We get a nice little jump tonight. So that allows us to only have to move so much and not very far. And we've moved the needle all the way above 70 fairly quick tomorrow. So a nice little burst of, I always want to say spring, but I guess it would be technically still late fall warmth. I don't know. It's always the time of year where the puns are really a challenge to say. All right, here's a look at the messy cumulus field, kind of dragging along the area, along the Ohio River. You can see most of the sprinkles are lining up on the northern side of the metro. Let me get rid of the clouds. Let's focus on the radar only. A couple of these are decent little small showers. They don't last very long, but into the border there of Jefferson County, Jennings, right over Madison. And if you're in Madison, you likely are hearing the drops right now, falling on the roof outside. A little bit of light rain in Carrollton already came through on 71. So be careful traveling on 71. It's going to be a bit wet if you're heading in that area. You know how that interchange can be, especially the merger at 75. Meanwhile, in the rest of Indiana, very spotty sprinkles at best. In Louisville, we may be too far south. We'll see. I mean, we're right on the edge of this, but it's certainly south from there. It's just going to be really tough for much to really happen today. So the sprinkle machine is quite limited. This thing's a fairly quick, fast, warm front moving through the area. So we'll be back into a lot of sun again later on today. In fact, Futurecast doesn't even really show the showers very well. Some of the higher res data that's a little closer to home does show it. So the modeling's not ignoring it. It's there. It's a minor thing. Okay, the warm front again moves through, with temperatures will actually stay elevated. You see a drop on this particular model. I'm not buying that. I think it'll be a bit more of a steady temperature flow tonight, and then a bit of a rise toward sunrise tomorrow. I think we'll be above 60 in the morning, and a lot of clouds to start the day off. So you're going to wake up tomorrow and you're like, I was hoping today was going to be a really pretty day, but hang tight. we will at least get a break in the action and some of that cloud cover as we evolve more into the afternoon. But it will be windy, as we've talked about with Dan. The wind is going to be, I would say, 25 to 35 tomorrow. So that will be, that'll get your attention, right? But it will be a very pleasantly feeling day. It's just that annoying wind will be at play. And a mix of high clouds and sunshine in the afternoon. But the cloudy start today is pretty likely. What'd you say, Les? Northern sprinkles there, Northern Kentucky. All right, thank you. Appreciate that, Les. Is it gonna be cold today? Julian asked. Nope, not gonna be cold. We'll be fine. We'll be in the 60s. Could even be close to 70 later. It's gonna be close, depending on how much the sun comes back out. Surprised to see some sprinkles earlier this morning. Why were you surprised, Adam? We talked about it. You shouldn't be surprised. Okay, all right, so everyone seems good. All right, let's move on to Saturday night's rain. Well, the data is less aggressive with that today, now that we're getting really close to it, than what it has been past couple of days. It's been kind of bouncing around. The trend has basically always been, though, east to 65. So if you're east of 65, you are likely to see the front react at the very last minute Saturday evening to produce a couple of quick showers. They'll be faster moving than really the ones today are, the sprinkles. All right, it's very quick. So you don't have to worry about a long rainy night. It's only just a few hours of a few showers that will dot the radar. And if you're west of 65, you'll be in the drier portion of the system. So it'll be even harder to get enough moisture to kind of bunch up and give you any type of rain. So once again, a view in area divided on who's going to get the rain or not. And really, if I had to divide it even more, I would say 64 and south is where it would fall. So that bottom right quadrant is the area that has the best chance to get rain in wave country Saturday night. Any other quadrant, it's much lower, if not zero. Easy enough? All right. Otherwise, windy and warm on Saturday. Now, Sunday will be a prettier day. I mean, a lot more sun because the moisture is yanked out of the atmosphere, whatever we had that we're trying to accumulate today with the warm front gets pulled out by that front Saturday night. So it's only a brief warm sector that we're in here. So it will be noticeably cooler on Sunday. It'll be a much more of a fight to get to 60 compared to easily sliding over 70 like tomorrow will be. But it will be prettier. A little bit of a breeze, not as strong of a wind, but it'll be a colder wind, so it won't feel as great, but still, again, a pretty looking day. All right. After that, we get into the next system, which will be rolling in for early next week. So let me dive into that real fast. Here we go with the Euro. The Euro, most of the global models really is what I call the long range models. They are still having a tough time. The situation's still the same. You've got a stalled low pressure east of the Hudson Bay that's constantly carving out this trough here into New England and the Great Lakes. And then you have these low pressures that are just diving straight down. This is not necessarily an El Nino type of flow or the Pineapple Express you may hear about, because the flow is not coming from Hawaii. These systems are diving straight down from Seattle, digging into Southern Cal, leading to a very rainy setup, and then they roll on out. So that's where we're kind of set for the storyline for the next week to 10 days, is that kind of repeating fashion with the blocking. And it is a blocking setup, especially because, again, the low is just not going anywhere into the Northeast. So because of that, everything just kind of is really slow to roll out of the Rockies. So that's our question, though. How fast will it roll out? And the models yesterday were a little more in agreement on timing. Today, they're nearly 30 to 36 hours different on timing for next week's storm, especially the latter half of the week. That's a significant time period. So that's going to lead to some challenges. So let me explain. We'll start with the first of the series. That will be Tuesday. This one is the same storyline where we'll move into a tight gradient, a bit of a battle here in the Ohio River Valley. The leading edge still has a chance because of the evaporation on the leading edge to get a little bit of wintry weather mixed in, but no issues. It'll be above freezing. And this is going to be mainly, I would say, closer to Peoria, Chicago, maybe Indy, maybe Cincy. But even there, it's such a minor issue because you'll be above freezing. So it's not going to cause any issues. It's just one of those visual things that may happen. Otherwise, for the rest of us, we will be in the, I wouldn't say warm rain. It's going to be a chilly rain kind of setup. Tuesday's a good, indoor decorating type of day, or a nap day will be Tuesday. Could get a little bit of thunder, but nothing. I'm not worried about severe. Right now, your higher cape, as you can see there with the gold color, is a little more on the southern side of that wave. So if there's going to be any type of strong storm potential, it would probably be West Tennessee or Arkansas and maybe southern Missouri that may have something to track, but that looks to be southwest of our area right now. This could easily change depending on how this all interacts together, especially when we get high res data in this. Sometimes we see a little bit of a correction that happens, but I think it's been pretty consistent on Tuesday for a while now. And this is where things kind of change. We get past this, then it's all about the front that is draped over the area. So this is the sort of a cold front. It's an overly strong one, but it's left behind from the Tuesday wave, kind of draped in the area. It will then retreat back north as a warm front throughout Wednesday and part of Thursday. How fast does that happen, and how far does it go? Because the concern that really showed up yesterday is that it was very slow to move north. And because of that, we just got socked with heavy bouts of rain. And it really only got to I-64 to maybe southern Indiana, and then the low moved in. So it was just a tremendous amount of rain, not so much a severe weather signal in that kind of a setup, because the warm sector never really got fully established in the Ohio Valley, couldn't get far enough north. This is what the Euro looks like today. Again, the warm front, keep an eye on it. Easy to see right there. And there's your warm sector. Easy to see that with the cape in that reddish gold color, right? So that's Wednesday, early Wednesday. Here we go with Thursday. This is a lot different looking now. Now the warm front on the Euro wants to take it all the way up north of I-70 again, which is where it was 2 days ago on the idea. And then we got the low rolling out, and here's your severe weather that's trying to develop heavy rain into areas of the southern plains. But it would be mainly dry and warm for us if that's the case. GFS, not too far off from this. I think it's the German model, the Icon, was holding its own idea that the warm front would be stuck over us. So it'd be active Wednesday and Thursday. But this scenario is not what you want to see in terms of severe weather, because obviously you get a more established warm sector, then the stage is set to get a more dynamic setup. And now it's all about really timing, because is it going to be nocturnal, which helps reduce severe risk, or will it be, 12 to 4 in the afternoon, which increases the odds? Well, here's 2 o'clock on Thursday, and here we are at 5 p.m. Friday. So it's really slow on rolling out on the Euro, and GFS, again, not too far off on that idea. I think there's still a lot of back and forth that's going to happen. The warm front is absolutely key on this, and I think that's the problem we've got, is how does that get established? How far north does it go? Does it get stuck here? There's so many different ways the storyline could go, and that's why we still cannot go with any type of alert day setup in the extended right now, because we don't know exactly what the alert day would really be for. Would it be for excessive rainfall, or would it be for severe, or would it be for both? Good question. And secondly, where will we put it? Which day? So we need a little more time for this to kind of cook in the oven, and we're watching it. And as soon as we get a more definitive outlook on how this is going to play out, more of a stabilization to the trends, that'll give us more confidence. But right now, there's just too much wavering that is happening. And this is normal to see this much of a difference back and forth. This is very, very normal. But in the cool season, you got to be leery about these warm fronts not making it through. That is always a risk in the cool season, and that can really bust the severe weather outlook, but it can really ramp up your heavy rain. So we'll watch it. But again, no alert day on this one. It moves on by, and it's still not enough yet to fully drag down the cold air. We're not quite there, but this ends as we enter the travel week. And you can already see that, there's a return flow already starting. There's another wave diving in. Yeah, we're about to roll another bad boy out for Thanksgiving week, which we'll be focusing more on that. Obviously, next week, we'll be talking more about Thanksgiving week and a little more detail. Any questions on the stormy side of things and heavy rain that I can try to answer? There's a lot of it I really can't. All right. What'd you say, Joe? I really did not appreciate y'all shoving that cold all the way down to Florida. Hey, but you get the cool stuff, Joel. You have fallen iguanas. I mean, we don't get that here. We have, falling adults, but with us shivering, but not like iguanas. Although I felt like an iguana a few times. Brad, are the chances better for rain Tuesday or Thursday? They're both, right now, Brad, if you take about a euro, it's Friday next week, and instead of Thursday, that would be higher. So both of them will have spikes. I mean, it's likely to get rain. It's just a matter of the intensity of the rain, and is it rain and thunderstorms? Those are the difference between Tuesday and Thursday and or Friday. So they're both going to be spikes on our 10-day, but a little different impacts. Yeah, Jill, did an iguana fall on your head? Adam wants to know. Let us know about that. Okay, so let's get into the long term. You ready? All right, let's do it. The new updated Euro look. Yay. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me get HK's question. You're thinking Friday, maybe another day. Yes, maybe. But it could also be Thursday night into Friday morning, that kind of ordeal. Maybe. I don't know. But I can tell you right now, we don't have enough data to go within one. So we're just going to talk about it a lot. That's what we do. And extended anyway in the 10 days. So we'll be referencing a lot, but just a lot of caution because we can't explain all this. As you guys are fully aware, that's why we do these blogs, is that it's so hard to say all this on TV. We don't have enough time. You guys don't hear what we hear in our ear. And those are time cues constantly being said to us. So we're always timed on TV. Here, I do have sort of a time limit. I'm always over. But it's not as much pressure on that. But on TV, there is a limit because there's other parts of a newscast, not just weather. So we have a limit. So I can't, and none of us can go into all this detail about next Thursday and Friday. All we can tell you is, yeah, here comes the storm system. We'll let you know when it arrives. Could bring heavy rain and thunderstorms. So I know it's very vague, but at least we have this conversation with you all. So we're filling in the gaps, right? There you go. Okay, so this is better than TV. I like it better than TV too, because I have a chance to talk to you all, which is, I talk to you all every day on TV, but you all can't talk back, which is probably a good thing in many cases. But sometimes you all say nice things. Sometimes. Actually, most of the time y'all do. Thanks, Tanya. Appreciate that. It's a good team here. Good team. Okay, so let's get into the long-term euro. So here's what I decided to do on this is break up how it's trending on temperature. Let me show you full screen. Because it is going to be a process to do the step down. And I think that's going to be the frustrating part. And this is where it's certainly going to require a lot of patience and snow lovers, as you got to be patient with this kind of a setup. It tends to take some time to do the flip, but once it gets established, it's going to be hard to get out of this rut once it gets locked in here. And I still think this is so similar to what we faced last year for December. It's very, very similar to it, where we got this, warm push. The only difference is the warm air arrived, or the cold air arrived a little faster last year at Thanksgiving. That was about the only big difference. But once it got here, it's stuck around until a week before Christmas. Then it left. And then it came back again early January, as you guys know. The way it's playing out right now, well, it's got the warm holding on by the hairs on its chin here as we head into late November. But after that, yep, there we go. The colder flow flows into the lower 48 and it continues into late December. I will say that the cold doesn't so far the signal, and this is, far out, so it's not going to be overly strong on the signal the further out in time. That's why it's stronger in the Rockies in late November, because that's not that far away. The further out in time you go, the intensity tends to be a little less dramatic on every factor. So that's just normal. And the further out you go, the model is even less confident. But you really don't want it to be a full-fledged, huge Arctic outbreak here into the Great Lakes, right? You want it to just be cold enough to get snow. If you want a white Christmas especially, just cold enough, because you want that storm track to still stay a piece of the equation here for the southern United States to feed us into a snowy setup for the Ohio Valley. If it's too overwhelming, it's cold and dry. And boy, that is one thing that snow lovers get miserable about when you see nothing but photos of people waking up to a white Christmas in southern Mississippi. They're like, wait a minute. How did it skip over us? But you don't want it to you want it to approach. You want it to arrive. You don't want it to be overwhelming. Okay, so there we go. So that's how we'll enter the game plan for temperature anyway. I'll keep an eye on this. We'll see how it looks. The matrix, well, very similar right now. We got rid of the early week snow that we had, kind of congesting the first round of the matrix. So now we can clearly see a little bit more into December. There is a bit of a spike at the end of November, which is interesting. So there are a couple systems that we can't really see yet that I haven't a chance to show you that are after Thanksgiving that try to set the stage for maybe something at the very end of the month. We'll see. It still looks like there's another little jump right here in early December, and then another one December 24th that is showing up, another little jump. Isn't that exciting? So it's not a really high signal yet, but don't pay attention to colors. Don't do that. Don't read the numbers. Ignore all that. You want to see everything just fill in. You want every line to be filled in and really kind of start at the same time, so you can tell that clearly it's one system that moves in that spikes the model's interest. So that's what you want as we head down the road, and that's what I'm hoping we will see as we evolve. Any questions on that part of the forecast? Yes, white Christmas and go away the next day. That's usually the way it goes, right? That's usually the way it goes. Let's see. I hope so, because last year was really tough because we had, 60 was about close to 60, maybe it was above that on Christmas last year. That was really tough for snow lovers because we were only just a week away from what we could see was about to happen, and then it hit in January. January is a little tough because then we got to go back to school, go back to work, and then we got to drive through all this. And like, oh, this is not fun. What happened to the fun where we can avoid our families and enjoy snow and eat all the candy that we made for the family, but they can't get here because it's snowing. So we eat it all ourselves, and we get to open up all their presents. So there's always a game plan to all this. It always works out. Cameron, odds of white Christmas higher this year. Good question. I haven't really thought in terms of that yet. Give me to the end of next week, and I'll try to throw out an odds for you. Is that fair? I want to make sure I'm fully informed of every aspect I can at that time period. I don't want to just throw out an answer just because I'm a snow lover or whatever the case may be. I just want to throw something out. Give me time to look at that, and I'll try to give you some odds next week. Okay. All right. We need another story time. Adam, I don't know when I'll be able to do another story time. Maybe soon. I'll let you know. We'll do it. We need like candlelight or something now. We'll make it a very, engaging conversation with you all. Stay tuned. All right, let me get to the 10-day, and I got to run because there's a lot I got to take care of this weekend set up of the wind. I want to look at more of those wind gusts tomorrow, mainly because I'm concerned about Dan being on the ladder, so that's what worries me. So here we go with the 10-day. You can see we've got 70s tomorrow. Again, windy, looking good. We get into next week. Right now, we'll put the spike on Tuesday, and the Thursday, Friday one's probably going to be bouncing around a bit unless the warm front is stuck over us. And if the warm front is stuck, then those may all be 60% or higher for 4 days in a row. And that's not good because now we're talking about flooding issues, right? So that is going to be a messy setup next week. It's going to be really tough to nail all that down right now, but we will keep you updated, obviously, through the weekend. Carson you guys know he'll be on here. I'll let you know what the trends are. And then we drop again at the end. But no snow in the 10-day. No snow in the 10-day. All right. Okie dokie. All right, guys. It's 10:20 now, so I need to run. You guys have a good weekend. Behave yourselves. And yes, I will be back on Monday morning. And we'll have a little bit more of a conversation about Thanksgiving week. All right. Take care, everyone. Stay safe. Dan, be careful on the ladder.